Next on Worcester News tonight, a new study says commuter rail prices may be too expensive for some getaway cities like Worcester. Plus, poison control calls are up for kids and teens. Now a new device offered at a marijuana dispensary aims to prevent accidental consumption. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. Sunny and breezy across central Massachusetts, but hundreds of miles away, Hurricane Durian is moving north, and we could see some rain from the storm this weekend. Meteorologist Tim Kelly has a first look at our local forecast.
Yeah, for as quiet as the weather's been here around Worcester today, it's just the opposite. In South Carolina, Charleston, at least now the wind is going offshore. It's low tide, but north of the storm, which is just hugging the coast, literally 10 miles offshore. And you see these capes in North Carolina, up to Wilmington, North Carolina. These are bands of squalls, so in some cases the bands of squalls producing tornadoes doing more damage than the sustained wind at the beaches. But all in all, it is a disaster happening before our eyes. Nothing like the Bahamas, but there's going to be a lot to clean up as we still are just trying to assess the damage. South Carolina, North Carolina. And these clouds have to do with the northern edge of the storm starting to go post-tropical. It's going to go from warm core to cold core storm. In other words, from a hurricane to a nor'easter when it goes by about 150 miles east of Nantucket Saturday sunrise. So let's go to our sunrise tomorrow. It's chilly outside. Didn't even make 70 today. We're going to start in the mid-50s in the morning. The high thin clouds are about the same as they are now tomorrow. They're going to get a bit thicker. Rain is getting close, 12:15. This is a chilly rain coming up to about Newport, Rhode Island. But watch it as it advances tomorrow at 4 o'clock. It kind of tries to fall apart. So we're not guaranteed rain. Showers are going to be close tomorrow evening. And then it may be more wet before drying, and a mostly dry weekend forecast in a few minutes.
A new study looks at the prices of commuter rail fares in cities like Worcester. Some seem to be avoiding taking the train because the cost is too high. As our Brittany Schaefer explains, it's something city leaders say they are looking into.
A trip from Union Station to Boston costs about $13 one way. Mass Inc. recommends options like income-based fares to make trips more affordable. Weeks after the MBTA increases fares on the commuter rail, a study finds rates are not affordable for residents in gateway cities like Worcester.
It's $13.50 now one way. That's almost double the price of buses one way.
Maggie Foster commutes to Worcester from Boston for work several times a week. She says she can't afford to take the train every day because of the fare hike.
It's absurd. So I spend a lot of time backpacking in Worcester and sleeping on friends' couches, who are very kind. But it's very unfortunate. I wish that it were more feasible because the train is infinitely more comfortable.
The report from Mass Inc. explores several options to make fares more cost efficient. The nonprofit suggests income-based fares and discounts for reverse commuters and off-peak travel times. Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce President Tim Murray says the chamber is currently looking at ways to properly fund public transportation to gain ridership, and the report is something to consider.
You probably need one uniform rate, except on weekends. There's been some experimentation with reducing the rate, and we've seen more use on the weekends now. So if we can keep it affordable, I think people will use it. And going hand in hand with affordability is frequency and dependability, reliability.
Commuter rail riders seem to agree with points in the report and say anything to decrease cost is worth a try.
If you're commuting back and forth, it can in a day can cost you about $20-something. So I think going income-based might be very helpful to people who have to get out of Worcester for work.
Even if there were just an actual discount on the monthly or weekly fare passes, that would be insanely helpful for me. But because the monthly pass is basically $13.25 times however much, it isn't economical.
Murray says a reliable and affordable commuter rail system is a key factor to Worcester's economic success. At Union Station, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
We're getting a look at the damage on Abaco Island in the Bahamas, where Hurricane Durian left a path of destruction. Durian was a Category 5 storm when it hit on Sunday, with sustained winds of more than 180 miles per hour. It left many buildings in ruins. Along the shore, docks were ripped apart and boats tossed around. Survivors were stranded without a way off the island. U.S. Customs and Border Protection helicopters are flying in to take them to safety. Aerial video of the Abaco Islands shows widespread devastation.
In what is an historic, devastating Category 5 hurricane, to see the outpouring of support and assistance in real time has been heartwarming.
The Red Cross estimates as many as 13,000 homes in the Bahamas may have been destroyed or severely damaged. Worcester City Council approves an order to work with the company who will develop the site of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. Councillor Candy Merrill Carlson wants to recognize the neighborhood's Italian heritage. She says a building on the site for an Italian Heritage Center may help people upset with the demolition of the former church. The Mount Carmel Preservation Society says the building could commemorate the history of Our Lady of Mount Carmel, parishioners' memories, and neighborhood artifacts. Two proposed bills would allow undocumented immigrants living in Massachusetts to apply for driver's licenses. The proposal was heard Wednesday on Beacon Hill, and it appears people are torn between the two sides. Our Gretchen LaRosa joins us now to explain. Gretchen.
Olivia, this isn't the first time lawmakers have tried to pass a bill like this. Senators in support of the bill say people without licenses are gambling by getting behind the wheel day to day.
Yeah, but then that opens the door to a whole lot of other things. So, no, they shouldn't have a license.
A packed hearing at the State House this week discussing two bills which would allow undocumented immigrants to get driver's licenses.
We can assume that they're going to drive anyway, whether they have a license or whether they don't. I want them to, A, have some driver's education, and B, I want them to have insurance for the sake of everybody else.
Supporters of the bill, like State Senator Harriet Chandler, say the state-issued license would make the roads safer.
We'd like to have regulation of some sort here, and we'd like to treat these people and give them the feeling that they have some responsibility in the course of living in the United States. They're living here now.
Some drivers outside Worcester's Registry of Motor Vehicles say they are concerned the bill may have loopholes and people who are in the country illegally should not get the benefit of a driver's license.
I definitely think that they should need to go through the entire immigration process first before anything else.
If it is passed that they have to get a license, that they're just still not going to get a license. They're just going to continue driving the way that they're driving.
Meanwhile, supporters face a major obstacle, a governor who does not support the bill.
My problem with giving license to people who are undocumented is just that. There's no documentation to back up the fact that they are who they say they are.
Now, senators who filed the bill say there are almost 200,000 undocumented immigrants on the roads, and they could pose a danger to others. In the studio, Gretchen LaRosa, Worcester News Tonight.
Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke campaigns in the Boston area. He's holding a town hall at Tufts University tonight, followed by a meet and greet at Backlash Beer in Roxbury. O'Rourke will then head north to New Hampshire for 2 days. The former Texas congressman is looking to build momentum in the polls. He's one of the 10 candidates who qualified for next week's third debate. In an effort to keep kids away from marijuana, new bags are being sold at a local dispensary. Cultivate in Leicester says their goal is to make sure their product is only getting into the hands of people who should have it. Our Chandler Walsh joins us in Leicester with more. Chandler. Olivia, Cultivate just started selling these bags from a smoking product company. They cost about $10 and Cultivate isn't making a profit. They hope it prevents children from unintentionally ingesting marijuana, and without the correct passcode, you can't unzip them.
You set your own combination to it, and it locks the zippers in the combination lock.
Child-proof locked bags is one way customers at dispensaries like Cultivate can keep their marijuana products out of their kids' reach.
Once you put your code in that you've personally changed, you can hit this button here, unlocks it.
The Leicester business started the initiative last week. The bags are also smell-proof, so teens can't tell what's inside.
We're trying to make sure that everybody has the access that they need to make sure that we can keep everybody safe from any dangers that could come from our product.
A study by a UMass Amherst researcher found poison control calls for children and teens who ingested marijuana have doubled since it became legal for medical use in Massachusetts. The study says as states across the country enact more permissive marijuana policies, we need to do more to promote safe storage in households with children. Shannon Berthium says she worries about her teenagers, their friends, or young children in her family.
Just kind of put it up high and hit it. Just wherever, where the kids couldn't reach it.
She bought a bag Thursday and says it makes her feel more comfortable.
Nobody knows what it is, so you can't smell it, you can't see what's in it, it locks.
Cultivate's Mike Shabbat says they started selling the bags in response to the poison control research. Shabbat says Cultivate employees also give customers safety tips during purchases.
The major thing is if they have cartridges or anything like that, we want to make sure that they put them back in the packaging afterwards. We always ensure that our customers are aware of that, just to make sure that we can keep everybody safe and it's all locked away when they're done using it.
Shabbat says customers can also reuse the bag for future purchases to cut down on plastic and wrapping. We did reach out to other dispensaries when working on this story and haven't heard back. In Leicester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight. Many people enjoying the nice weather today at Worcester's Out to Lunch concert series. The 10-week festival is on the City Common Oval on Thursdays. Today's performance featured King Warble. The rock and soul group includes local artists. People at today's lunchtime event say it's a fun way to wrap up the summer.
So we like to come out for the food, and we like to come out for the music, which today is a great band, I like a little R&B and stuff like that.
I always try to come to see a show or two during the summer, but it's a great opportunity to shop at the farmers market.
Next Thursday is the last concert of the summer featuring musician Nikki Luparelli.